Oh, sorry, it was YouTube. Oh God, no, stop. All right, everybody. It is time, guys. You're just wondering what the hell was that? Yep, that was Tim Curry in a Command and Conquer, and today we are going to talk about memes and news from Command and Conquer. What a shitty intro. I don't know what I should expect. Well, it's good to have Mia back again since I was on the trip to London, and yeah, we're gonna show some news from Command and Conquer, and yeah, wait a minute. I think I have found the right thing. When I was just checking the YouTube, do you know what I found? What Mark Hamill as? Oh my God, the make him as. We're not talking about this. We are talking about this. Oh my God, can you see this, chat? I mean, I need to share this. This is the news from the shitty E3 of EA Games that reviewed and create the new genre. I mean, I don't know about if we should talk shit about E3. I mean, there has been a lot of shitty shit reviews. It's so terrible. I cannot imagine why they did this. But here it is, guys. The new Command and Conquer. This is what it was and what it looks back in the original Command and Conquer. Is this some kind of strategy game? I see. But what happened if you turn in remastered version? Look at the soldier. He's look real. And oh my God, look at this, chat. This is what we are going to stream. And yeah, let me tell you a fun story about Command & Conquer that I have on a program called GOG. It's one of these E3 kind of thing. I mean, not E3, EA games. Back in the early zeros, they create games from movies to video games. Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Star Wars, and other stuff. I mean, there was so... What can I say? It was like... They also made Godfather game into any platform. And for me, oh my God, early zeros of movies you can create in video games was something I remember and a bit shitty because graphics could be more shitty this way. I mean, it could relax and do some shit. Well, I remember playing EA games that based from movies. I remember... Oh yeah, James Bond Nightfire. I forget this game. It was to PlayStation 2. I played it on my cousin's house, only in a half hour. And I played also this kind of game called Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. Is named in Danish, but when you play it, you cannot only switch it in Danish. You can only switch into the Swedish and into English. Så bra. Jeg er ikke så god til at snakke svenske, så det må du have undskylde. Sorry, that was my Danish with the Swedish accent. I'm really bad at Swedish. I'm really bit good at it. I mean, vil du så streame på min computer? Yeah, got me. There is a bit Swedish in me. I mean, my mother loves Sweden. What can I say? There is a beautiful hills out there, and there is some snow and some beautiful stuff out there. That's why I love Joel. I mean, Joel is a Swedish guy. Can you imagine that? Well, let me tell you about this amazing game. When I was 14 and 15 years old, I got Steam, I got Battle.net, and then last I got LOL. I was a little bit happy of it, and I was too close to lose control of all console games. So in that time when I heard the news that you can buy the Command and Conquer, and I don't know what it is, but they will have one of these old classic Command and Conquer 1 from 1995. And I was just like, holy shit, I love the old ones, but not the new ones. But when I got the new ones, I realized something that I saw on Origin. I mean, I saw a guy talk anything about the Red Alert experience. He wasn't. I mean, what can I say? The whole experience of Red Alert. There are so many cringy stuff and weird. I mean, what can I say about Command and Conquer? It's some kind of enjoyable strategy you need to use on the brain to actually mind control anything like bases and conquer everything. But in Red Alert, you're only by the Russian or only by the Alliance, and they just conquering everything around European because they took back in time in 1925 to kill Hitler. But what happened if you just killed Hitler? The whole Russian will conquer the whole universe. So we only speaking Russian and only cheers for Russian, but also have the different language. And yeah, there was still red at the side of the Russian. And that did also too in German too. Yeah, you know. But what would happen if Einstein was been killed? There would be no plutonium, and there would be no diabetes. There would no longer be missiles, actually nuclear missiles. And what can I say about that? That it sucks a bit, but it reminds me more why the third award comes out, and why they changed history. I mean, go back in time and change history. What's gonna happen if it's do it for real? Well, that's my question here. Oh, let's take a look. Look at these villager. Holy shit, it's been destroyed. Oh, can you not hear this? Well, I can. Wait a minute. What? Oh, sorry. Wait a minute. Sorry. Oh. Whoa, not now. Oh, so you guys are not seeing the memes of what I shared first? Let me find him. It was some kind of... It was one of the bad accents when Tim Curry says space. Here he is. Oh my god, let's watch this. This comes from 2010. What? And it has 800,000. Okay, let me watch this.
Commander, you've rained on my glorious parade. For this, I'm sending everything I've got at you.
Anything.
I won't let you
Those Russians.
I'm escaping. One place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space!
Space! I really like the accent though, when he just say, space! Oh god, it gave me some bad good memories. Baby Yoda. Oh my god, he looks so adorable. Well, that's not what we are talking about right now. We are talking about the classic, Command and Conquer. What about the rise and fall of Command and Conquer? I mean, it's gonna be a bit sad though, since Command and Conquer doesn't really release new games on the early futures. I mean, they stopped releasing in 2010 the last FMVs of all FMVs, Command and Conquer. And then they continue to make a shitty games from E3 that sucks. I mean, have you realized that? Maybe found some E3... You remember this? You remember that guy? That man that flipped the bird? Okay, let's watch this. Fuck E3.
Now I'm here with Joseph Ferris from Hazelight.
He hates E3. I can see this. I can smell his face. Just like this, the future. Fuck E3. Fuck EA Games. This is so bad. They're reviewing bad games.
You were at the first Game Awards back 2014.
Yeah.
Named codename Hazelight. Now we know
Code?
it's A Way Out. It's coming out next year.
Yeah.
So how does it feel to be back at the Game Awards 4 years later?
Look at me, man. How do I look? It's like, I'm telling you this, okay. There are like passionate people, there are crazy people, and there is me. I'm so passionate.
Yeah, remember that. There are so many crazies around people. They're just posting shit games that looks like they are unreal, okay?
Be here. I'm so excited to be.
I would just say that because this person already know that this is a shitty E3, and there would be no E3 hype like. I mean, what is this? What did I say? No, E3 hype. I mean, people hyped too much at E3 because there will come new games in a new year, in a new future.
And meeting this industry.
And somebody
It's
sucks.
crazy, man. Like, look, this is kind of insane. Like, we're here, we're celebrating this. Look, the Oscars should fuck themselves up. The shit.
Oh, dude. Oh. No, did I get banned on Twitch? No, I don't. This guy, this guy's right. He just. Did you know what he says? Well, let's take a look.
I'm telling you, this is the real shit.
This is the real shit. Oh my god, this is the real shit. E3. Fuck you. Oh, who's laughing now, E3? Who's laughing now?
Interactive gaming. I'm just saying this.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm taking. Let me just
Yeah.
give me a minute. I want to
Oh, here it comes, guys. Here it comes.
Okay, can you swear here?
Can you swear here? Yes. No, you can't. Not if you on live. You will ban the stream.
Okay. Fuck the Oscars.
Oh, guys, did you see this? Did you see this fucker? He just swearing in the freaking Oscars. He just say, "Fuck the Oscar."
Fuck the Oscars. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's what we want. Fuck the Oscars. Fuck E3. Fuck Lord of the Rings. Fuck everything. Fuck Sims 4. Oh yeah, I'm sorry for swearing these because I hate those.
I'll tell you. I'm just like, this is bullshit.
It is bullshit.
The gaming industry is an interactive experience where
Because
you
you
feel it in your
did a
heart.
lot of films.
I don't know why I'm swearing so much.
You know, I've done 6 features, but I don't
Yeah.
care. But okay, we're here to talk about A Way Out. Let's do that.
Yeah, let's get into your game.
I'm
All
sorry,
right,
I'm
so-
a little bit.
No, hey,
I'm a little bit jet lagged, so
You're
that's why
excited.
I'm. A bit, I know
Yeah, he's just a bit insane. He's just like Caparino. I wanna fuck the E3. I don't wanna see them anymore. I don't wanna see the new games coming up in the future.
Hey, Joseph, A Way Out. Co-op.
Joseph sounds like he's from French. They call him Joseph.
Game. You showed it at E3. People excited about it. You
Well, that
got
is
new
the
tonight.
rewards
What can you
behind
tell us
him.
about what we're gonna see tonight?
What can I tell you?
Yeah.
My friend.
The
I'm telling
triumph
you.
reward
All right, this is
of
what I
video
gotta tell you.
games.
Look, this is insane. If the whole world tell me your game is shit, I'll tell them no, it's not. That's how much I believe in it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I also believe, that if people say that this is shit and the others say no, it does. I mean, have you even seen, Todd, how I released the goddamn bad game Fallout 76? There were so many bad questions about why this is so bad. This is so bad. And the need to fix all the bad issues. And they couldn't. It was so wrong.
I'm telling you, like if you play the game from the beginning to the end,
Yes.
and you see what it is, it's impossible you don't like it.
Okay.
Impossible.
True, would I not like this?
Make sure to play with a friend that's not a run and gun split screen shooter.
And your friend can play with you
Ah,
for
yeah,
free,
yeah, yeah.
right? Yeah.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
And this is why
The thing, he reminds me a little bit of my dad. He just every time ran into the European, he just say, "Hey, can you help me with the tickets?" And he just say, "What are you saying, sir?" And they just give it the tickets, and my dad is like, "Thank you, you're welcome." And then he's moving on and actually got the ticket to the plane. I mean, he's every time taken to the plane to the airplane and actually take a fly to the Spanian, and that is a place he actually belongs. I mean, he loves Spanian, and he listens also to the Spanish all the time. Every time he works, and when he's getting tired, and actually want to get home and take a sleep and watch some Spanish, something on the television. It was getting annoying at it sometimes. Well,
idea. It doesn't have anything with the EA shit going on, with the loot box and stuff. No. Look.
I would wish this was my dad, but he looks a bit like him. But he just Joseph. You make the E3 like trash.
I'm gonna say to you one thing. EA has been very good to me.
Yes.
And
Yeah, they have been really good trash for me.
they're getting, because it's nice to hear blah blah. I don't care about that shit. What I'm saying is this: all publishers fuck up sometimes. You know, that's how it is. They fuck up.
They've really fucked up.
In this case, it's like they've been treating me very well. That's what I'm saying. I have.
Okay, he says this second times. Okay, you know what? I think we'll skip this. Here it is, boys. Oh my god, guys, is the insane story of Red Alert terribly summarized? Summarize it. Yeah, summarize it. That's it. This is terrible. Here we go, guys.
What makes a man? Is it his wealth?
Do you like
his
World War?
looks, the love of his
There you
friends
go.
and family? Wrong. All those
Wrong.
are wrong. There is only one thing that truly defines a man.
Oh yeah. You're already reported. We wrote the report. Russia. Suka blid. Merde. No, it's not French. It's Russia.
I use alternate history in my videos to discuss real-world questions. Makes us think about how we got to where we are today.
Yeah, we are America. Oh yeah,
Who we are
motherfucker.
as people, nations, cultures.
This YouTuber loves to tell anything about the World War's history. Alternate history hub about history. I mean, Hitler and Fallout. They were also about nation with Fallout and civilization. Remember this game? This is also something about conquering place. Empire Earth. Do you remember this, guys? I mean. This was a good game, right? Well, let's take a look at the insane story of Red Alert. I heard it so much, and it's got more views to come up. I mean, it's got a very good start. 1 million. I mean, what can I say about this game? It's just something that been posted on the shitty memes is the terrible acting Tim Curry. There we go.
This isn't one of those videos. We're going to talk about another part of alternate history.
Oh yes,
the part where giant
history.
Japanese samurai mechs invade Berlin.
So
where Hitler
good.
is killed by a
This is
handshake,
Japanese,
where
yes.
cutscenes look like they were filmed for an 80s porno. When I was 10, I didn't care. I all blew
I love the
freaking
kind of way
mind.
he's just like
Demanding
it's
Trump.
filming and it's just ED porno. Oh, what a worst meme.
Now, if you don't know what
Talk
I'm talking
about
about, that's
Command and
okay.
Conquer.
I don't blame you for not knowing. CNC hasn't been that
Command
relevant
and
this
Conquer.
decade since EA
Oh,
drove the
here's
franchise
the
into an
nightmare
early
jet.
grave like it was gonna talk.
Ooh.
Economy will be the focus of Harvester to start things.
I actually tried this game and it's not too bad. I mean, what can I say about myself playing a strategy game? You need a brain to be more concentrated where the soldiers should go and where they should place and actually build some bases. This is what it keep my best favorite ever. Except EA games from the E3. EA reminds me about E3.
Too crazy yet.
That's why I'm saying E3 sometimes.
I'm escaping to the one place that
Here
hasn't
he
been
is.
corrupted by capitalism.
Jim Carrey. Jim.
I want to enlighten you on a blessed
No,
series
it's
that
Tim Curry.
placed the seed of
Not Jim.
that alternate history craziness
I
into
fucked
my
it up.
young, impressionable mind. The Red Alert series.
Oh, here it is, boys.
Realistic? No. Does it have to be? Of course not. This isn't really a video about lore. since
Oh, here is the
there really
Russian.
isn't a lot of it. Or maybe I just want to talk about it. It's my channel, who
Sugrability.
cares?
Oh, here it is. Listen to this badass music. Commanding Conquer
Most people agree World War II
1996.
wasn't the best time.
Nah.
And in a post-war 1946,
1946.
in the middle of the desert, the man himself, Albert Einstein.
Oh, Albert
wanted to
Einstein.
live in a
Remember
world
this
where
guy?
Such a tragedy never occurred.
That guy that
So he
created
came up with
anything
an idea,
that we
a
all
machine
remember.
to travel through time. And
Do
he
you remember why Steve Jobs and Bill Gates supported together to make good technology? Albert Einstein, and you created weapons?
built that machine to travel back in time to undo the future that is.
The fun thing is about the 40s in the World War. In that time, there was no computer. The only thing there was is just weapons created by Albert Einstein. He was just tactic to use his brain. He was such a brainwashing to himself. He was just like using the brain to become more knowledgeing than others.
a coup. Or,
And he was just a
Hitler.
bit an
He
idiot.
goes back in time and kills Hitler before he can mess everything up. But Cody,
Ugh,
if he went
mess
back
it
in
up.
time to kill Hitler and everything changed, then why would he ever need to go back if he came from a president that never heard of Hitler?
That's a
It's
good
strategy game
question.
from the 90s. Don't think about it. Because Hitler now never came to power.
He came
instead of
never
Nazi
at power
Germany
since
waging
that
war
day
against
Russian took
everyone
over
and causing World
European.
War II, the Soviet Union
What a
decided
trash.
to invade all of Europe.
Jo, jeg kan lide.
Each Command and Conquer game has
Okay, what is funny between a meme post of Russian with an anime music from Japanese in 2002?
multiple endings because you can play
American
both
and Russian.
sides. And since there's multiple games, well, some
That's his,
endings just
versus.
aren't going to be canon.
Sure. Sukaplete.
You
Russian
play as the Soviets, then
Sylvester
hot dog,
Stallone.
Congrats, baby! You get to lead the invasion of your.
I'm wondering, the Sylvester Stallone looks like a Russia. Let me find him. Sylvester Stallone. Okay, here is Sylvester Stallone. He just like has he always been looked. But what happened if he a Russian? If he a Russian, where is the Russian? Oh, I remember actually this Rocky movie when he kicks ass the enemy in the face, Rocky Balboa, or what it calls. Yeah, good movie, good time. Russian, Rainbow 4. There's a lot of things that happened back in the days, and it was really him. Damn, he looks something else. He looks like a man from Outland, but he speak very ancient, not ancients, very English. Sorry, very American, kinda. He was born in New York. I can't even imagine that why he just did this. You have kids, yes. I remember also he was in the Greed, the movie. It was a very good time. Jennifer was his wife. How old is she? 51 year. Holy crap. Is that what it looks? Mom and dad. Well, shit. I mean, look at him. Look at him. Let me find him. Here he is. He looks like Sylvester Stallone. If we just found a rainbow, maybe a rainbow. Sylvester Stallone in Russian. Bliad Stallones.
If you play as the Soviets, then hot dog, congrats, baby!
Hot dog,
You get to
congrats,
lead the
yes.
Invasion of Europe, country by country, using
And now it's the
strangely
time
advanced
for
technology like
being a
iron
Russia
curtains and
shit.
Tesla coils, as you slowly make your way to stop Brexit.
A
Along the
Brexit,
way,
this
your
is him that
contemporaries
conquer
will die,
everything.
But because you are the main player, you survive.
He's just like,
Stalin's wrath,
"Hey, you good
drunkenness,
guy, huh?
Way with
Yeah.
women,
Kick
play
that
the game
asses."
well. Oh, Stalin. You know,
Poor
several
Stalin.
words. By the conclusion, you have successfully conquered Britain. The
Oh, yeah.
USSR now controls all of Europe. As for
And
Stalin, oops.
He died.
Well, what about the Allied campaign?
And now the Allied
As
campaign.
commander, you successfully beat back the Soviets.
I remember maybe the cutscenes, but do you know what this sounds most? Not very much of American, but more like a bit of Russian. Innocent Russian. I mean, what can I say about red that is really bad, and blue is the good guys, and the green is the a middle nowhere guys. I mean, they respect the blue guys, and they are the good guys. I don't know why, but let's watch.
Using their own weapons against them, preventing them from bombing Britain.
Oh, that was so close.
Resistance storylines, you can kind of get the deal. Poor Stalin, boy, just can't catch a break. There really isn't much
That's
to be
what
said
happened with
because
Stalin.
the plot doesn't really matter.
Black Widow 2020.
The state of the world is either going to be.
Wait, is that the
allies
name
with-
of the gun? Black Widow 2020. Let me find this. Black Widow 2020. Is that a gun? Oh, wait. It's a movie. Oh, excuse me. Black Widow. Oh, it's coming soon. 2020. It's a new movie coming up. Black Widow. Wait. Is that a Marvel? Oh. Fuck me. Here is the new Marvel hero, Black Widow. I mean, what can I say about this woman? She's so sexy. Sexy lady. And here I was Jackson here at the... Wow. Samuel Jackson, is that you?
Win or Soviets win. But the games do pick a favorite because you can't just have the Soviets win. That would be boring.
That would be boring.
This is Dugan.
Hey, Alex, it's me, Reggie.
Here it is, boys. Red alert. And
It's been
Yeah.
30 years since the end of the war. And what do you know? We're going with the Allied
13
victory
years?
plot, which means this is how Stalin died.
Yeah,
And the
rest
Allies
in
replaced
peace.
him with a puppet called Alexander Romanov.
Okay, Alexander Romanov. Let me find him. I think if he's for real, Alexander Roman. What his name? Romanov. Let me search up about it. Romanov. Alexander Romanov? What? There's that guy. Oh, he's from Russia. No. Romanovich. No. World War. I'm talking about. Yeah, that guy. That guy. It is him. What? It is really him. It's the Romanov family. Romanov. What is it called? Romanov? Yeah, Romanov. Alexander Romanov.
If you can't tell by the name,
It's
he's
so
a
much
descendant
Russian
of the
blood.
Romanovs that the Soviets overthrew in the
Soviet
first place.
Union.
Introduce you to my little friend. This is Sam.
Well, why don't you
Introduced to my little friend. It reminds me of the guy that come with the shotgun. Say hello to my little friend.
Sam.
Well, wouldn't you know it, the Soviets invade again and the US president finds out in a pretty casual way.
Oh.
To be allies, you maniac. I'm the one that put you into office.
Do you know what he looks like? Do you know what he looks like? He looks like James Bond in a perfect way. I mean, not the future Bond, the early Zero Bond. James Bond. Let's find James Bond 2002. He was also in the GoldenEye. This guy, he looks a bit like him. But does he have the British accent? I think he have only the English, American accent. I never know anything about Die Another Day. Yes. Cannot believe this is Mr. Bond back in the times. But he looks older than ever. Let me see how old he is. He's 66 years old. Holy shit, he's been an old man. But damn, I remember him as young, man. He was something special. What is this woman? I've never watched the movie, and I've never watched the movie, but I remember seeing the DVD cover of Die Another Day, and I remember also having two James. I mean, my cousins have two James Bond games, one James Bond movie, and I never have seen Die Another Day, but I know that this movie is something about a beginning of this actor, but in the end of 2006, he begins to switch actor, so it's not him that you see, it is Daniel Craig in the Casino Royale. I heard about Daniel Craig's a lot of movies, the first, the second, the third, and the fourth, and this they're coming out soon. I cannot believe that all this James Bond nonsense of all actors, they're switching. It's going on and on and on. It's so amazing. They also did that in with the other Doctor Who movies. They switch absolutely the actors. Well, let's
We're
continue.
supposed to be allies, you maniac. I'm the one that put you into office.
Listen very carefully. I am not your pet, Mr. President. We Romanovs have our legacy to consider.
I don't give a wooden nickel about your legacy.
This is one thing that I should supposed to not say to the Russians, since they will begin to invade and conquer America. That was the problem right there. Oh Jesus! I feel I'm really going to play this game, but no, not this time. I mean, sooner or later, guys, we are going to playing some Star Wars game, and I also have a special gift later on when we are done to playing a game. I will make us some speed run if we getting some Lego Star Wars. I mean, for Christmas, I think decoration's gonna be something about Star Wars because this is the last Star Wars, and I love Star Wars.
Yeah, I'd react somewhat mildly annoyed finding out the US is getting invaded on two fronts as well.
I don't give a wooden
Yeah,
nickel
true.
about your legacy.
The US try to use their nukes, except they can't.
Oh,
Because
yes.
Yuri the Psychic.
He's a psychic, the Yurik.
Yes, there are psychics, don't question it.
Yuri
gives
is a
the top
psychic.
secret nuclear bases a call.
That's the
and
command.
brainwashes
What's going
them
on?
to
And
do
then
this.
Oh, they'll
he shoot
explode
him in the head.
The silo doors are closed.
Oh my god, so bad, guys, so bad. It looks like it recording by a freaking green screen. If you see this a little bit shit
And
there,
brainwashes them to do
I mean, what the hell, man? What the hell?
this.
Oh, they'll explode under. The silo doors are closed.
This is really shitty.
And thus begins our conflict.
This the new guys. This is oh god. This is absolutely the new Spider-Man, the movie,
Alright,
a world exploding by the Russian.
you know the drill. 2 campaigns, 2 outcomes. Let's do it.
Oh, here we go. The Allied campaign.
Oh, uh-oh, what's a good old boy to do? The Reds are on your shore, Commander.
I don't know what to say about this guy, but he doesn't look like a fat American. I think he's more like
do
a
it.
fat Canada guy.
Well,
He's just like, oh, Canada.
oh, what's a good old boy to do? The Reds are on your shore, Commander. After taking a few places back from the Soviets, including the Statue of
Soviets.
Liberty, which really has no strategic importance, that old
It's so impossible to think that the Russian had actually killed the library. What her name is? Library woman. I don't think what it's called.
scoundrel Yuri uses mind control on the president and the top generals.
Oh,
War is over. What I've come to realize is that the communists want to save money.
I don't think we need to hear any more of that.
oh,
So how'd Yuri
okay.
do it? Well, he created a psychic beacon. which
Oh
does
yeah,
pretty much what it
there's the
sounds like.
problem.
They build one in Chicago. Gotta
Psychic
go stop
beacon.
'em. Ah,
He's
darn.
brainwashing
The United
everything.
States was Romanov's first target. Join our fight,
It looks like
or we will
something
not
had
be
been
his
fault.
last.
So after the European powers somehow
Nice
not
introduction.
under control of the Soviets, even though the Soviets now control the U.S., decide, hey, maybe we should help. They hop on board with the Americans.
They
the best way
truly
to take
do.
the Soviets down is to chop the head off, of course. And guess who's going to help with that?
I have something
This
to,
guy.
how shall we say, even the score, yeah?
Guess that time traveling added 20 years to his life and made him look
Can't
like
even
Lou
believe
Albano.
this. Wait, I can't even believe
Down,
this.
help with
This was Albert
added
Einstein.
20 years to
Okay, he died in April 1955? I cannot imagine why, but
his
this
life
is what he was.
and made him look like Lou Albano.
He truly looked like him.
So you take DC back, retake some places in the US, and now are tasked to help Einstein as he creates a chronosphere. Pretty much the same machine as last game, but this time it can transportate anything. Plot twist, you transport your forces into Moscow, capture the city, and sneaky Romanov himself.
What a hero. Oh.
So what about the Soviet campaign?
Well, they're so funny. American is like making cartoons on these Russian like, oh no.
So what about the Soviet campaign? Well, there
Ornor.
isn't much different, except you conquer a little bit of Europe, have a little fun in Paris, and Tesla coils.
And then you are
Yuri
Russian,
overthrows
yeah.
Romanov, leading to you, the commander, now fighting against him.
Oh,
In the end,
yeah,
Yuri
fighting
is
American.
defeated,
Why is they
nuked.
yellow?
All that's
They're not
left
blue
is his
always?
brain,
Yeah.
for some reason.
Brain.
But hey, at least now that everyone else is gone, you are the sole leader of the Soviet Union.
Soviet
Congrats, comrade.
Union. Yeah.
What the devil is going on, Lieutenant?
He's surfaced, Mr. President. I'm sure you all recognize this man.
Nostalgia critic.
That
Yes.
takes place after.
That escalated the question. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh,
the Allied
thank you. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you.
victory.
It's so amazing.
It's
Oh my God. He does a bit look like Nostalgia Critic. Holy shit, it's
you know,
real.
after building mind control devices across the entire world, he basically brainwashes everybody.
Minion
So what do you do?
brainwashing. Oh, that's torture.
Pull an endgame, of course. Your forces travel back in time to the start of Red Alert 2 when the Soviets are invading.
You can
Yuri
travel
is
your
still
forces back in
brainwashing
time?
everybody, but using Hollywood and subliminal messages.
He's
Ooh.
begun to use the media to spread subliminal propaganda. Here's a sample with the subliminal mind control properties filtered out.
Turns out knock
It reminds me that Yurik has some brainwashing of nostalgia critics. You guys have two kind of thing. Wait, massive, massive soft. Are you going to nuclear Bill Gates? Oh God. I never think that they actually did in this game.
off Bill Gates.
They will nuclear Bill Gates, and he just went because he's afraid being nucleared by the Russian.
Is in trouble because Yuri is threatening to nuke him unless
It's
he
really
gives him
terrible.
money. Lou Albano is involved again. The war ends
True.
with the Soviets and Americans banding together to fight Yuri. Yuri is captured in his secret
Accepted,
Antarctica
yes.
base, and bing bang boom, he's defeated.
Thanks to you, Commander, he won't be able to mind control a fly.
True.
Oh yeah, then the timelines merge for some reason.
And this blood points in the what? Soviet campaign.
The Soviet campaign
Whew,
isn't that
yeah.
different, except Yuri
What
is
a-
defeated
what a
by the
meme.
Russians,
Oh,
and you, the
a
commander,
space.
are the sole leader of the Soviet-dominated world.
Again.
Yuri tries to escape in his own time machine and is ate by a T-Rex.
He's going to be neat and T-Rex.
Thanks for coming, everybody! Good night!
You cannot be serious. Come, Comrade General. A new world order.
Here is the bad legend. Here is the bad legend, guys. Here how was it carried? Oh, in Russia now. It's so complete. It's so complete. Guys, prepare. Let me warn you. Prepare for Jim Carrey deception of space. Here we go. Russian, everybody. Spider-Man movie. freaking Jim Carrey movies. Oh yeah, Red
Oh boy,
Alert
it's
3.
the end of Red
There we
Alert
go.
2 or 1. Really any Allied campaign in this timeline.
And this
The
time,
Soviets are
Russian.
Once again on the brink of defeat. What's a leader to do?
And
What's
is
a
that,
Tim Curry to
Yuri?
do? Simple.
Picture of Yuri. That's not Einstein.
I've seen this one. I've seen this one. This is a classic.
Pull an
Yeah,
Einstein.
that's
Travel
right.
back in
That's a
time.
classic.
Kill Einstein. Didn't see that coming, did you, old man?
Oh.
You see, Einstein
That's what Red Alert Soviet Logic 101 problem era comes to.
was what allowed the Allies to have their powerful weapons.
Yeah,
Nukes,
true. The
their
nukes,
machine,
transportation machine.
their diabetes.
The diabetes,
If
true.
Einstein is gone, then
And
the
he's dead.
Soviets will have an advantage, and in no way would anything possibly go wrong. We created weebs. Yes, that's
See, that was the problem. They created weeps. What the frick? I mean, what can I say about stupid actors? Like, stupid actors like Tim Curry do, and stupid actors like Spider-Man do. I mean, what the fuck, man?
Einstein is gone, then the Soviets will have an advantage, and in
Russian
no way
do
would
some
anything
bad
possibly
shit.
Go wrong. We
That-
created
that's
weebs.
what
yes,
it looks.
that's right. In a world without atomic bombs, somehow
True.
the Japanese Empire was able to rise out of
We are
horrendous,
coming
crushing defeat
to take you
become the
down.
Empire, the rising sun.
Hopefully,
Even though the Soviets
sun
invaded
rays is
Manchuria was
coming.
actually the main reason for their
Senpai.
surrender, not the bombs. But that's okay. No nukes means anime mechs. All right, why not? Thanks,
Ooh.
Tim Curry. You ruined everything.
Yeah, you ruined everything.
So yeah, there's
All
three
people hate
campaigns in the game.
animates.
All of them are
Because
not
they
that
are
deep,
strictly
considering a certain company took over, and there's one more.
Oh my
campaign
gosh,
now.
I forget that. Actually,
Well,
EA's
Soviets are in
most
control of
bad
Europe, and Britain once
game.
again is the last bastion.
for
Gotta
Christ's
just go with what you know, I guess. Typical events happen. You once again beat back the Soviets. This time
End up
with
being
measles.
nuclear.
In the most realistic part of this whole franchise, the Allies and Soviets set aside their
Soviets.
differences to fight against anime. Japan is soon
what?
pushed back. President Ackerman, and yes, this is J.K. Simmons' most
Here he
prominent
is.
role,
Vote for me if you want to live.
American country.
goes full helicopter rides and betrays the Soviets.
None of you have the guts to do what needs to be done, so I'm gonna wipe those Soviets off this earth myself.
Oh,
Using a
poor.
laser coming out of Mount
Ted.
Rushmore.
What is his name?
Poor Teddy.
Oh, Teddy.
Yeah, so allies fight amongst each other,
What is it?
and Jenny McCarthy kills the president.
Teddy
I think she
McCarthy?
had a child sneeze on him.
Did he say?
Well, uh-oh.
Did he say Teddy McCarthy? It's a mixing release of. God, man, you're predict. You freak. You. Oh my God. You know what it's gonna make him into. You're gonna make him into black and a mustache man and sing, "Ayo," and the whole Russian is going to blah.
She had a child sneeze on him. Well,
Giant
the
sneeze.
Soviets betray you anyway. After some transportation into Leningrad,
And
gee, where did I see this before?
that's what you did before.
Both leaders are imprisoned in ice.
Well,
And the
priest.
vice president of the U.S. takes over.
Oh yeah, man! I forget this guy, Mr.
And the
Hasselhoff.
vice president of the U.S. takes over.
BCN. What? Here have we freedom master, Mr. Hoff. Listen to the song. I mean, to his voice is like badass.
You done good, Hasselhoff.
You done good.
So Ackerman's little bout of patriotism
yeah.
transcends timelines, I guess.
What is
and
this?
There's still a war on 3 fronts.
Timeline?
Somehow Japan has a front in Leningrad and Moscow. Flying fortresses beat
Oh.
geography and logistics, I guess.
The
But moving
forces.
on, after some shenanigans, some betrayal, some fun times, the Soviets decide that they need to assassinate the emperor.
Assassinate the emperor.
Would be so easy.
But George Takei isn't going down without a fight. And then, the greatest betrayal of all.
Oh, true.
For so thoroughly and brutally dispatching my enemies. But now I'm afraid you have outlived your usefulness.
Thought we were friends, Tim Curry.
Yes, I thought
Did
we were.
everything for you.
I thought he was
This
a
is how
good
you
guy,
repay me?
but
Leaders
no.
betraying everyone really seems to be the running thing in this game. Well, Tim Curry is beat on his
Naughty.
real-life Volcano Fortress,
Volcano Fortress.
and all is resolved.
Oh yeah, music.
That was easy. Once again, you can.
This is what the Russian one.
But oh no, here comes the.
That's the 2000, and now Japanese. Oh, they're doing the same shit. Except the president was a robot. Oh, what an ending. EA kills every franchise that they touch. Regular content next. This doesn't want to be a red alert 4. And there you go, guys. Sucka blete. That's not gonna be a freaking EA games. Blete. Blete. And that's what happened with Command and Conquer Red Alert. Fuck the Oscar. Okay, what about the Rise and Fall, guys? Rise and Fall. I heard there was this storyline of Rise and Fall for the nostalgia Command and Conquer. It's a redux. Are you ready to cry? Are you ready to watch this sick video of the Rise and Fall Command and Conquer of documentaries? There you go. Gamers presents. No TV merit.
And they can immerse themselves in the world, or they can do things with it, and they just, and it's fun for them. It's all
His
we're shooting
eyeball.
for is basically how to
His eyeball's like,
fun for people.
oh my god, I
And
cannot
that's
believe
the
this.
basis of
It was a good
targeting.
game. Yeah,
But
and people
it's
liked it.
something that we're always, trying to do.
Among games that have defined the real-time strategy genre, Command & Conquer is seen as one of the most influential titles. The CNC franchise, along with Warcraft and StarCraft, shaped the identity of RTS games during the 90s and would
It was a
influence
really
the
good
designs
game.
of countless similar strategy titles in later years.
They started it, and
Early
every other
years, it
strategy
was
game
good.
you can practically think of evolves from there.
Even though the franchise ended with a whimper instead of a bang, it managed to create an indelible impact on the history of video games. Join us as we take a look at the rise and fall of Command & Conquer.
Oh yeah, the Rise and Fall.
Well, the very first real-time strategy game.
Oh yeah, guys.
We made it, and
Let me tell you what the difference about the strategy games. I love playing Warcraft. Warcraft was one of these games that I really loved at my whole freaking life. And I remember my neighbor sat there and played it, and she'd also played Sims. It was also a good game, and there was some kind of... It was so pixelated at the time, because she not ran into some 3D games, because she did not have could work any 3D games with that stupid ass graphic card. So the only that works was only computer with 3D graphic cards. And yeah, there you go.
frankly, probably the very first game anybody would recognize as a real-time
True,
strategy game
true.
was called Dune 2. We shipped this product, it did very well, and we decided to do our own original property around the concepts, the core compulsions which made this strategy game so much fun.
Command & Conquer began development in 1992, shortly after Westwood released Dune 2. Taking place in
They
an alternate
released
history of
Dune
modern day,
2.
players could choose to side with the Global Defense
Actually,
Initiative or
what
the
it
Brotherhood of
creates.
Nine. Using FMVs or full motion videos to tell the story, Westwood
FMVs.
employees would play multiple roles in the cutscenes. Most notably, Joseph Kukin, who worked at Westwood as
Joel, if you're watching this, I heard you are actually streaming some goddamn FMV Fridays. I want you to play Command and Conquer, because this game is gonna be a lot of fun. If you're watching this, guys, you need to clip this. You need to watch this. This is an important message for you, Joel, the Vine Source group that you always have in your hands, and playing some shit games, and Willow already was a crackhead, and yeah, I want you to stream some Command and Conquer because this have some goddamn FMVs and some badass music too. I mean, what can I say? That it also sounds like Quake 1 and 2. Actually, with the remix music, I mean the guitar or some shit.
As a voice actor and vocal director, played the role of the main villain, Kane.
Here is
Again
Kane.
in French and German. I want 300 copies made and sent to every TV station in Europe. You have the satellite for another 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes.
Is that camera still running?
Oh shit.
The campiness of the FMV scenes would
I
become
seen
a
a
hallmark of the
ghost.
series and added a B-movie feel to the story.
B-movie?
A common element of this series would be the hunt for the
B-movie.
alien material known as Tiberium, which was visibly inspired by the spice melange from the Dune series. In the CNC lore, Tiberium was an alien crystal that crashed on Earth through a meteor in 1995
Oh, yeah, true.
in the Tiber River in Italy. While it is very valuable, direct human contact with it is most often lethal. In the first game, Tiberium simply acted as a resource to the player, but it would play a greater
It
role
was
in later
a resource.
The campaigns were centered around two theaters, Europe for GDI and Africa for NOD. Many of the missions had screens where the player could choose between 2 or even 3
Oh, I remember
locations
that.
to progress through, though this would usually end up being the same objective on a different map layout. The game was capable of multiplayer via LAN, with several modes to choose from. Frank Klepacki composed
He
the
loves
iconic soundtrack for Tiberium
playing all
Dawn,
the
which would help
soundtracks.
shape his career later on.
He did.
The first Command & Conquer was released in the summer of 1995 for DOS on 2 discs, one for the GDI and one for the NOD campaigns, which was rare at the time. It would go on to
It
sell
was
over
really
3
rare.
million copies and was ported to multiple
Really,
platforms,
really
such as
rare.
Macintosh, Sega Saturn, Windows as the Gold Edition.
Remember in summer 1995 where we actually have floppy disk and the computer could not play the disk, only floppy disk instead, and you just say, "Oh no, I doesn't have a freaking DVD. What should I do? Buy a new PC, but I doesn't have enough money." And yeah, he have just wasted all his money for this game and he could not play it. So sorry, you need a freaking disk on your computer if you have problems. So I think back in the summer of 1995, there was other people that doesn't use so much CDs. Oh, I guess so. Not if they only have old computer for their own.
PlayStation 1 and Nintendo 64.
Oh, 64 is so
A lot of people
dope.
didn't think that the game had a lot of possibilities. We had original forecasts in tens of thousands of units, like 60,000 units
True.
versus the 2+ million that we sold. So it was quite a leap of faith to get that product out. Now, once we actually showed
That
it to the
was.
public, once we saw the people's eyes light up, once we saw them playing, I think everybody kind of got a hold of the idea that this is something really different.
This is something different.
In 1996, the game was supported with a single expansion pack called The Covert
Is that a dinosaur?
Operations, which added new missions for both NOD and
I really
GDI,
love the
as well as a
graphics.
Jurassic Park mode to the game. In the meantime, Westwood's work with Dune 2 inspired many other studios to create real-time strategy
This
games.
looks small.
Most notable was Blizzard Entertainment, who released Warcraft: Orcs and Humans in 1994.
I remember installed that in 2012 and tried this game. It was too hard for me because my brain was so not useful to use strategy. I was so stupid back in the days. And the most annoying thing about this game, you can only pick one character, not any character. Like you can have 6, you can have 8 million troopers, and you can just click that place you really need, and yeah, there you go.
Which, as their developer stated, was made out of the desire to see what they could do better.
Oh.
For the next couple of years, the releases of RTS
I remember Warcraft 2 was kind of these games that I loved most, but when Command and Conquer came out, 2 different games. Command and Conquer, Warcraft 2. What is your best favorite game, son? Well, I will pick the Warcraft. No, they're sold out. You can only play the Command and Conquer. But I want... Shut up.
games by Blizzard and Westwood followed each other, seemingly in a race.
Oh yeah, there we go. The show we saw before. Red Alert.
So
The intro looks so good.
hey, we could take the basic mechanics of the game, create all new sides, all new units, all new balancing, and
Oh, did you actually thought you could play this on a PlayStation version?
With the storyline of
Yes, you
Command
could.
and Conquer, Westwood would then work on the first of many spin-offs of the series with Command and Conquer Red Alert. Red Alert took place in an alternate history of World War II, where Hitler was killed before he rose to power, thanks to Albert Einstein's time travel experiments. Without Hitler, the USSR began to take over, and the Allies were forced into a different war. The game was originally positioned narrative-wise to be a precursor to Command & Conquer. In the first Red Alert, it was shown that Kane was a close associate of Joseph Stalin, advising and sharing secret information with him. As a consequence, the war would lead to the rise in power of the Brotherhood of Nod and the formation of the GDI. But this proved to be a problem in terms of continuity and was ignored.
Kane was actually behind all of this.
Chairman, I am the future.
He is the future. He'd been the command all along. It was him that just started the Tiberian. Oh, that's the most exciting thing. Tiberian Sun is a kind of game that I might maybe become the best strategy game ever. Because it's on the desert, it reminds me more of bits of Dune 2000, I guess.
The AI were included for the first time, with 3 difficulty settings.
It's coming soon, guys. It's coming soon.
The soundtrack was once more composed by Frank Lapaki.
See, it was him.
Becoming one of the most
it was the guitar man. Damn, look at this. He was like playing all the cool songs. He was been dominated as the nominated. Yeah, for the PC Gamer magazine, because it was so awesome. He actually
Trent Reznor's score for Quake.
He actually makes score songs for Quake. He was just damn that dude, man. He's so badass.
The game received 2 expansion packs in 1997. Counter-Strike added new campaigns.
I would just say that this is what it's going to look. It's amazing.
In which the player was tasked with holding off an invasion of giant mutant ants.
I mean, it's so amazing.
With new single-player missions,
I can never believe video games would get popular in time.
This time, a multiplayer-only
and Soul Survivor.
Soul Survivor was released.
Alien. It looks like A, but it's online.
Command & Conquer to fight in an arena against others in a free-for-all fashion.
Oh
with
well.
Upgrade crates and one-way portals scattered across the maps. The game was a drastic departure from this series in terms of gameplay and received criticism from fans for its repetitiveness and shallow design. Soul Survivor never gained the popularity that its RTS predecessors did and was mostly ignored and subsequently forgotten. The success of Red Alert meant a return to the universe in a few years.
Yes.
Trouble behind the scenes.
Here it is, boys. This is going maybe to be my one favorite game ever because it reminds me a bit of StarCraft.
Virgin Interactive was facing financial difficulties in
I think that's the point.
Was forced to sell
clearly the point.
Assets. As a result, on August 17th, 1998, Electronic Arts bought Westwood.
You know what, guys? You know what I wish for? You know what I wish for? Remastered goddamn Command & Conquer. I mean, can you believe this, chat? It's so amazing.
For $122.5 million.
$2.5 million?
The Command & Conquer franchise to this day. One other Virgin-owned studio from Irvine, California was also purchased by EA and was designated Westwood Pacific. The first games to be released under EA's roof were Red Alert Retaliation, a PlayStation port of the Red Alert expansions, and Dune 2000, a remake of Dune 2,
Dune 2000, man.
Intelligent Games, which featured an engine similar to that of the CNC games, improved Harvester AI, skirmish and multiplayer modes, and full motion videos, which had
full motion video, guys, so you can actually watch this better.
The first Command & Conquer game to be distributed by EA was Tiberian Sun, released in the late summer of 1999.
Oh yeah, Tiberian Sun, guys.
Delays, most of which took place in the final development year.
This is what took place.
In the year of 2030, the game introduced more sci-fi elements to the series. The battle between the GDI
was so
and
good.
Nod grew with the world being taken over by Tiberium. Besides
Siberian
having the
was
two
some kind of rare
storylines,
stuff
players
you
could
found
also
out in the
choose
desert,
what missions to do,
I guess.
and could achieve an edge by dealing with side missions before the main ones, as it would mean that the enemy faction
That means
would
you
receive
can
fewer
build
reinforcements.
troopers and you
The
can build
production values were
tanks.
improved with
That
Tiberian
was the
Sun,
goodest
featuring
stuff.
a new game engine and more recognized actors for the FMV sequences.
I mean, FMV was getting better.
Series star Joseph Kukin, Michael Biehn, and James Earl Jones also starred in Tiberian Sun.
Well, in the 4 years between Command and Conquer and Tiberian Sun, the game Command and Conquer had been imitated so many times in so many different ways. It really put a really high bar for Tiberian Sun. And in fact, computers had come a long way. They were much more powerful. So we were really able to explore the three-dimensional aspects of the world, the characters, the units themselves. Take tanks that were now hovercraft and you know, the Orca flyers that became Orca bombers and all sorts of cool things like that. Just all this imaginative stuff that came out of the science fiction of the mixture of the alien technology along with these you know, sort of evolution of war machines.
Despite the improvements, the game's development problems were showing. From the numerous bugs which remained unresolved even after several patches, through inconsistent graphical elements and balance issues, to the fact that many intended features were disabled or completely removed. Improved systems like a dropship loadout screen in the campaign were in the works, but were later scrapped. Despite the issues, Tiberian Sun sold well and was praised for its atmosphere and world building.
True.
With the soundtrack by Frank Lepacki and Jared Mendelsohn being particularly helpful in building the setting. In February 2000, it received an expansion pack called Firestorm, which was the first instance where both campaigns were canonical and occurred at the same time. New units were introduced for both sides, as well as mostly new characters.
It was so good
The
back
storyline
then.
took place after the Second Tiberian War.
I wish I
where
could find this in
TDI
Denmark.
lost contact with the Philadelphia
Command
station
Conquer
due to a
Tiberian
severe
Sun,
ion
play
storm.
this on...
And Nod's newly reactivated AI Cabal went rogue
what's
and
going
stole
on?
the Tacitus for its own means, waging war on
It
both
looks
TDI
danger.
and Nod with its cyborg army. Firestorm
There was
also
this enemy
introduced a
all
special
along.
multiplayer mode called World Domination Tour, which was only available on the old Westwood online server. It included a world map separated into regions, with contested ones available as battlefields for both sides. After a period of time, the players' win-loss ratios would be calculated, and the region was given to the winning faction.
There's different
And
colors,
after a
guys.
while, the entire map would reset.
The entire map? Okay, here we go, guys. Riddler 2. Oh, I love the intro. Actually, they put so much good in this.
In 2000,
This guy is really good,
Westwood
Reddit.
returned to the Red Alert universe with Red Alert 2, delegating
I mean, a
its
real
development
good
to the Irvine studio, although some
making
developers, artists, and audio
intro.
team moved back and forth between the two studios. The year is now 1972,
You remember that time?
when the
That was
USSR
good
invades
times.
the United States, and thanks to the psychic Yuri,
Here
the
he
US
is, the
falls under
psychic.
Soviet control. This was the first
The
time
FMV
that
looks
both sides
for
in a
real.
CNC
It's
game
just
were
not like
completely
slow-mo
distinct, both
FMV.
functionally and visually.
It's so
And it
perfect.
was the beginning of customizable units in the franchise, with the Allied IFV
Holy shit.
able to change its weapon and function
It moves
depending on
fast.
the infantry unit it carried.
So
Skirmish
crazy.
and multiplayer received an upgrade by allowing players to take control of different nations from each side. These choices would affect which units they would have access to during a match. From a design point of view, Red Alert 2 continued the series' tradition of asymmetrical balance. The USSR featured stronger units, while the Allies had more diverse units and were stronger in the late game.
The real ideas behind Red Alert 2 are to give the player lots of options and lots of choices that he can be creative with in the gameplay. And this applies to the units.
I mean, look at this.
Each
It's
unit
so
has
good.
multiple different roles that it can take on.
Oh my god, he
game
looks
was
like
based on-
something. What his name? Yuri.
Creative
He
with the
looks.
gameplay.
He looks
And this
like
applies
in
to the
Scary
units,
Russia.
where each unit has multiple different roles. That
There he was. It was him before.
they
God
can
damn
take
it.
on.
The game was based on a modified engine from Tiberian Sun, which was
Ducks
largely
and
polished
Spy?
and improved, and helped form a modding community that is
I'm wondering
strong to
why
this
they
day.
put spies.
Co-op missions were now available in multiplayer, as well as a reskinned World Domination
And a
Tour.
war.
Red Alert 2 was a critical success and was followed up by an expansion, Yuri's Revenge, continued
really
the original
good.
story with Yuri taking over the world, requiring the Allied and USSR to defeat him in their own way, with the help of Einstein's time machine, whether he permitted you or not, depending on the faction you played as. Both the USSR and Allied factions got
I
new
would
units
say
to
that
use,
this
and Yuri's
kick-ass
army
woman
was playable in
is her.
skirmish and multiplayer modes.
They will not escape.
Player defeated.
Player
Meanwhile,
defeated.
Westwood Pacific had just released their RPG.
Oh yeah,
Nox.
their first
With help from the
RPG.
team at Intelligent Games, development was started on
And they
Emperor
create a
Battle for
3D
Dune,
game
a sequel
called
to Dune
Dune?
2 and Dune 2000. Despite a completely new art style, storyline, game mechanics, and engine, Emperor failed to gather much attention. Despite Westwood's pedigree for the RTS
And there
RPG
was
genres, their next
Renegade
game
came
of
out.
left field.
Renegade is the first person. I can't even believe why they made this game. Yeah, but yeah, we're also gonna play this game. I mean, holy shit, it's gonna be
Command & Conquer
trash.
Renegade was not
It's gonna
only
be
a
one
return
of
to
the
first game
bad
setting, but was
faces
also a
of James
first- and
Bond's
third-person shooter hybrid.
pictures.
Renegade followed the
Oh no,
exploits of
it's
Nick
gonna be one of
Havoc
these
Parker, a
Sims
GDI commando.
1
Instead of continuing
characters.
the main game storyline, Renegade takes place during the First Tiberium War and followed Havoc's mission to save scientists kidnapped by
Damn, it
Nod.
look ugly.
The game is known to have been in development as early as 1997, with a leaked tech demo for
This
the
is what it looks in
PlayStation showing some early
1997.
models, most likely in
Ugly.
the unfinished engine of the sports car GT
Holy,
game.
it's
It was later
60
decided to be a
frames.
PC exclusive called Command & Conquer
Bit
Commando,
good.
starring Logan Shepard, General
Oh.
Mark Shepard's son.
Wow.
He was later relegated to a tutorial guide in favor of Havoc. The game was ultimately
that
released in February 2002
version
after numerous
in
delays.
1997
While the campaign
reminds
was not
me of a
received well after
PlayStation
poor map
version
layouts
of
and
Command
AI,
& Conquer
many praised
Renegade.
its unique multiplayer mode, where
Is that a
players were
minigun?
split into GDI and
Is that-
non-teams,
wow.
able to purchase transformations to different
Oh yeah,
infantry
you
units
could
and
play
campaign
online
characters,
multiplayer.
as well as vehicles and aircraft.
Yes.
With each base structure having its own role, similar
was
to the
so
ones in
good.
the original Command & Conquer.
Conflict
was-
of interest? No. I got interest in conflict.
What?
However, in early 2003, EA closed the main branch of Westwood Studios with the final nail in the coffin being the
No.
failure of their MMO, Earth
Oh,
and Beyond.
Christ.
Before the studio was shut
That
down,
was.
Westwood had been working on several continuations of the Command & Conquer franchise.
True.
There was a planned sequel to Renegade, with one of the drafts taking place after Yuri's Revenge and
Oh.
trying to tie into the original CNC, with the
The
Soviet
original.
Union dissolving into several factions, including the Proto-Nod faction, the Scavengers, and the supposed
Proto-Nod.
protagonist faction, Romanov's Rebels. Renegade 2 made it past pre-production with some assets released to the fans, but was ultimately canceled before the studio's closure, due to the possibility of the game taking purchases from Battlefield 1942. Command &
1942.
Conquer Continuum was an MMO based on the Tiberium universe.
MMO?
Players could choose between different factions to play as, with more content
What
to
is
be
this
added
guy?
after release. Finally, there was Command & Conquer Incursion. This would
Oh.
have been the real third game in the Tiberium
Oh
universe.
yes.
The game would also introduce the alien species known as the Skrin.
It was there, the Warcraft 3 was out. It was like, oh my god, they're gonna make a new Command & Conquer, and this is General.
To be revealed as the species who sent Tiberium to Earth, as well as a planned expansion pack featuring the return of Cabal. The
Tiberian
Skrin
Crystal,
and some of the
I
designs
like
of
it.
Incursion would find their way into Tiberium Wars. While EA Pacific was close to finalizing their next game, Electronic Arts made the decision to fold.
Do you remember, guys, what really headset looks back in days? That's a really old school headset. These guys like have his speakers and just
While
playing
EA
it.
Pacific was close to finalizing their next game, Electronic Arts
These guys like, fuck. That's a bullshit. What a shitty game.
made the decision to fold the team, along with the remnants
That
of
sounds
the main
like
Westwood studio,
French's
into
when you
EA
just
LA,
get pissed.
which was already made up of DreamWorks Interactive developers at the time.
Oh, and they use blue tanks. Oh yeah. Oh my god, this is so badass. It was like the fourth time of James Bond
It was a first opportunity to bring
Nightfire.
as a franchise into the 3D world. Finally, we had
It was
3D
a
hardware that could
big
actually
3D
generate
world.
these huge cities with shadows and characters,
Yes.
and tons of hundreds of units, all battling it
You
all
could
out.
make Shadow, that was so
Using a
amazing.
modification of Westwood's W3D engine named Strategy Action Game Engine, or SAGE, EA Pacific released Command & Conquer Generals in 2003, which was in production since the release of Yuri's Revenge.
And it was so good.
Despite the name, Generals had no relation to the universes of previous Command & Conquer games and took place in a future version of our world. The GDI and Nod factions were replaced by the US, China, and the Global Liberation Army, or GLA. In this game, the GLA was a fanatical terrorist group who wanted to take over the world, with the US and China positioned as the only two countries to take them on. Like previous games in the series, each of the three factions had their own units, tech trees, and style of play. The US had the most...
Speaking of strategy game, there was this EA. Why am I saying E3 every time? I'm sorry. It was getting E3 hype at my freaking head. Okay, let me tell you. EA Games announced it and produced it when The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King was released in DVD. They made a game, a strategy game of the Lord of the Rings. Middle Earth. What is it should call? I guess. Middle Earth. Yeah. Well, let's take a look.
Advanced and expensive units. China was able to mass large armies, and the GLA could make use of sneak attacks.
Sneak attacks. Sniper!
Command & Conquer Generals sold well enough to get an expansion in the same year.
Jesus.
0 Hours claimed to fame
was
the
just
inclusion
being
of the general
knocked down.
system, originally cut from the base game. Each faction had multiple generals that each emphasized different aspects of the faction.
A gun, minigun on a tank. What?
Special units unique
Thank
to
you.
that general, but with some kind of cost associated.
Sorry, I can not just
The
make
air
fun of
general,
that. I
for
mean,
instance,
my dad
had
is
access
just
to
have
cheaper
these
and more powerful
accents,
air
you know.
units, but did not field any tank
English accent.
From 2004
Yeah,
to 2006,
that's right. 2004 and 5, Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth came out, and can you imagine playing Lord of the Rings as a strategy game? It's pretty good because I have the my side Warcraft strategy game, and I played it, and it was so funny.
EA Los Angeles worked on the Battle for Middle-earth series.
Here comes
set
the
in
shit.
Lord of the Rings universe,
I
using a
wish I could
gradually
play that
upgraded
on
siege
Origin,
engine that
but I
powered
can't
CNC generals.
because they not
It
introduced it.
spawned 2 main games and an expansion pack for the second, with the latter outsourced to Breakaway Games. While these
Breakaway
games did not sell as well as the Command & Conquer series, they still have small but loyal communities that play and mod them, despite the games currently being in licensing hell. For fans who wanted to return to the traditional Command & Conquer universe, they would have to wait until March 2007 with Command & Conquer 3
Poor Africa.
Tiberium Wars.
And here he is, boys. Here he is. It's Cain.
the Messiah.
Messiah? Why can you not? Why can we not kill
Tiberium Wars
Messiah?
officially introduced the Scrin faction to the
Oh yeah,
franchise.
2007.
Previous
I remember
games in the
this
series,
year.
Each faction had their own unique takes on units, strategies.
Let me tell you about this year. Xbox 316 came out, and the amazing Transformers came out, and it was mind-blowing. And people of Xbox, they have played Call of Duty, and it was like mind-blowing.
Percent-based design. The Scrin campaign could be unlocked after finishing the GDI and NOD storylines, and were also playable in skirmish and multiplayer. Introducing the aliens also came with designing the faction to be different from the other two. The Scrin were immune to the effects of Tiberium and had their own unique superweapon.
That was after
FMV
Titanium.
cutscenes made a return to the series. Joseph Kukin reprised his role as Cain, along with new additions like Michael Ironside, Billy D. Williams, and more. The big point about Command & Conquer 3 was it trying to take over the esports.
Absolutely. It reminds me this as a freaking esport, and this is a esport.
Crown from StarCraft. EA
StarCraft? Are they taking Kane conquering a freaking esport esport arena when they talk about StarCraft? Actually, players that will win in the tournament, and then Kane's come out and just say, "Stop playing. We are going to conquer sport tournaments," and it's just like, "Oh, put the hands up!" And just like afraid pussies. I mean, Kane's like an evil villain.
A heavily promoted Command & Conquer 3
Yeah, he is a
professional
villain.
scene with the
I
touted
know that.
Battlecast system.
He's a bad villain.
Battlecast allowed players to set up matches.
Here is the
spectating
Titanium.
games, and allow commentators
Titanium
to
that
provide commentary
no,
during
it's
play.
not Titanium.
Tiberium Wars was followed up with an expansion titled Kane's Wrath in March 2008.
When he
with the
began to
development
take
done
revenge.
largely by Breakaway Games, to which EA LA had previously outsourced the development of The Rise of the Witch King. Kane's Wrath would introduce some factions similar to the ones in Red Alert 2 and Generals.
And when you
along
kill
with
him,
new units for
he's
the three
just
main
getting more
factions.
angry.
Instead of having new campaigns
Look at him.
for all factions, the expansion story focused exclusively
He
on
looks
Kane
so bad.
and traced his actions from the events that followed
was
the
him
conclusion of
all along.
Tiberian Sun's Firestorm expansion.
It was
to
him
after
from Tiberian
Ward,
Sun.
with his trusted new AI, Legion, as the player's POV character. Kane's Wrath
He looks
also
serious, can I
introduced new
see?
modes in the form of
He's just
PC,
like
Global Conquest,
pointing at you
and
say,
Xbox
"You shit!
360's
You're
Cage
freaking
Challenge.
destroying my
Global Conquest
army!
allowed players
How
to play
dare
on a
you!"
turn-based map to try and take over the world and defeat
He's
the
an
other
evil
players.
guy.
Kane's challenge on the Xbox 360 involved Kane testing the player's abilities by ordering him to fight
Oh wait,
one
wait! Can you
sub-faction
play
at a
this
time.
on an Xbox 360? No, you can't. Wow, gunshot.
Nothing. We mustn't do anything to
And there we go with
disrupt
a
space-time
goddamn
continuity.
Tim Curry.
The next game in the series
Tim
to be
Curry.
worked on was Command and Conquer Red
I'm not
Alert 3.
say
Released in
Jim
October
Carrey.
2008, the story
Tim
took place
Curry.
during the mid-80s, where the
Oh,
USSR
here he
was
is.
about to be defeated.
Tim Curry.
Using time travel, they went back to kill Einstein, who was critical to the Allies' defense and eventual victory. However, taking Einstein out altered the time stream further and brought in Japan, or the Empire of the Rising Sun, as a new superpower.
Oh god,
Red Alert
Japanese.
3 had an interesting development. It was originally and unofficially announced in December 2004 by executive producer Mark Skaggs.
Wait,
However,
in
he was given
2004?
a period of 9 months to develop it.
So they have
after which
planned
he
that in
effectively left
2004?
EA, and the game was shelved until 2007. The game ultimately had the longest development time of all EALA's games, being in production for approximately
One of
a
these
year and a
shitty
half.
review?
Red Alert 3 would mark major
would there
changes
the
to the
shit
base
happens.
gameplay of the Command & Conquer series, and was ported to the Mac OS, the Xbox 360.
It was that time when
and for the first
EA
time,
became
PlayStation
boring.
4. The new faction
People hate
brought
this.
with it new units, strategies, and balancing. The Empire's units had the ability to transform into different modes at will, altering their utility. The Soviets relied on brute force, while the Allies had a high-tech arsenal. For the first
Truly
time in the
have.
series, every campaign map was designed around co-op play. You could either play them online with a friend or use an AI partner. Besides the Empire's transforming units, every unit in the game had some kind of special ability or something for the player to control. This made Red Alert 3 more micro-intensive compared to previous games in the series. Another major difference was a greater focus on naval combat. Sea battles in most RTS titles were downplayed in favor of land and air fights. With Red Alert 3, naval battles became a major focus of the game, with each side getting a variety of units. Red Alert 3 had an expansion with Uprising, which added 3 mini-story campaigns for each faction, and one special campaign, which followed the Empire's psychic unit, Yuriko, and was about commanding her instead of an army. Uprising also added in the Commander's
that's
Challenge
nice.
mode. The Challenge mode was built around fighting generals,
Oh, yeah.
similar to the Zero-Hour expansion
Technology,
for Command and Conquer
guys.
generals.
Technology.
The different generals would attack you with varying strategies and teams of units. The consoles received their own versions of Uprising with Red Alert 3 Commander's Challenge. However, these did not include the 4 mini-campaigns featured in the original PC expansion. Red Alert 3 sold well enough, but was not without
Old
some
computers,
PR
I see.
problems.
Old one.
The game featured a DRM system that limited the number of machines you could install a single copy of the game onto. To
Oh, you
5
could
per
install
serial
the
key.
CD copy?
After outcries from
Is
fans,
that a-
this system was modified to be able to deauthorize.
Is this a Windows XP? Oh my god. And this is a Red Alert 3 cover. I mean, what the fuck is this? I mean, what can I say about old screen? Oh, fucking screen. And you have a post. Oh god, no. No.
The game
No.
featured a DRM
No.
system that limited the number of machines you could install a single copy of the game onto.
That's 2008. You have Windows XP, not a... I guess it's Windows Vista or some shit. Maybe it's that.
To 5 per serial key.
Maybe it's that.
After outcries
Windows.
from fans, this system was modified to be able to deauthorize individual installations so they could
True.
be freed for future use in patch 1.05.
For the future. Oh my god, that was some good times in 2009,
During this
10.
time, plans for another spin-off of the Command & Conquer series were announced.
It was
Tiberium
truly
was
announced.
to be a squad-based tactical shooter in which the player would be able to coordinate their units against the Skrin forces invading Earth.
Yes.
In Tiberium, players would have taken control of GDI forward battle commander Ricardo Vega, the protagonist of
Ricardo
the Keith
Vega.
R.A. DiCandido authored Tiberium Wars novel, in a campaign that takes place after the events of Tiberium Wars. The game was cancelled shortly after it was announced in 2008 by EA, citing a lack of quality as the main reason.
Oh
EA
yeah,
LA
the
made one
lack of
last
quality
attempt at
was the
revisiting
reason.
The concept of a tactical first-person shooter with Project Camacho, this time set in the Generals universe. The game would have allowed players to take control over American resistance members as they fought against Chinese belligerents invading the USA.
I don't know what it is,
Unfortunately, Camacho
but I
never
think
made
this
it
is
past
not
the
Command and
concept
Conquer.
phase, with only scant concept art and prototype images from its short
Star,
existence
yes.
in 2008 and 2009 still surviving. Interestingly, the MMORTS concept of Soul Survivor was revisited around 2008 when EA LA started development on Command & Conquer Arena. The game
True.
was to be a multiplayer spin-off of Tiberium Wars and Kane's Wrath, aimed at the Asian market. However, the project never made it far into development and was ultimately transformed into Command & Conquer 4 Tiberium Twilight, after the developers were forced by the higher-ups at EA, who ordered that the game was made as a full AAA release and put in a box. This decision was controversial even within the studio, with some notable members, like multiplayer designer Greg Black, leaving the company as a result.
Oh, okay. He left the company.
So we have a new class-based gameplay.
You have a mobile base now, so no longer are you stuck in one place on the map.
We're going a little more in the accessible standpoint of it, but
That was
I wanna reinforce
2009's
that we're not removing the strategic depth.
E3.
I'm sorry, I totally missed that word you said.
What happened to the screen? Are we going to see them reappear?
Time, I'm totally not understanding.
Progression, earning experience applies to the entire game all of the time, no matter how you play it.
No, I don't
What's
think
going
so.
on with this? I mean, how is this adding to the
Here,
already
Kane.
compelling
Here's
CNC
Kane.
experience?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So it's a much more friendly way to kind of get into RTS, a bit less intimidating than StarCraft 2.
Based on that feedback, we actually brought back some Tiberium harvesting,
It was
which we had
2010.
completely got rid of.
We have a class system, which is generally more common with first-person shooters than with real-time strategy games.
For the veterans of CNC, are they going to be able to adapt? Is this going to be something that's of interest to them?
Well, we're hoping they can adapt.
I just want to encourage players to give CNC4 a shot. I know we're trying a lot of things a bit different.
You know, it's time for a bit of a change. A lot of RTS games are getting kind of to be a little bit of the same.
Tiberium Twilight is merely a CNC game by association.
Command & Conquer 4 probably isn't what you expected.
Whoa, what? Shit. There's so many posts about this.
In 2010, the series began its fall.
Oh,
from
here's
grace
the
among
sad news,
RTS
guys.
fans with Command &
Prepare
Conquer
for
4
cheers.
Tiberium Twilight. Tiberium Twilight, being essentially a forced and rushed redesign of the CNC Arena project, was a massive gutting of the Command & Conquer design from top to bottom. The
Poor
Skrin, who were
Commander
introduced as a playable
and Conquer.
faction in Command & Conquer 3, were relegated to a neutral faction. Power
Or
and
one.
general base building for the GDI and NOD were also taken out. Base building was replaced
can't
by a
believe
new
that.
mobile HQ called the Crawler and a focus on class-based battles. Each faction could take one of three types of crawlers. Depending on which of the three you chose, offense, support, or defense would determine your options and units available. Instead of defeating your opponent's base, the game focused on capturing areas of the map for points. It's important to point out
I
that
should have
Command
known
&
that in
Conquer 4
2010,
came out
but I
after
did
the successes
because
of
I did
Company of
not know
Heroes
about this
and
game.
Warhammer 40K Dawn of
Yeah, a
War
bit.
2,
I remember
both with a
running
focus on
GameStop
point
and saw
capture.
this post of
The real
Tim
cut
Curry
to the gameplay came with Twilight's new persistence system for unlocking
as a
units.
10-year-old
When you
kid, I
began
guess.
to play Command & Conquer 4,
11.
your account started at level 1. Playing through the campaign or skirmish matches online would award you experience points. The only way to unlock new units, structures, and technologies was to level up. The problem was that this system instantly created an unfair disadvantage for new players wanting to jump into multiplayer. The differences between a new player and a fully leveled player were huge, thanks to stronger units, more options, and the experienced players being all around better. This also made fighting against the AI even tougher due to them having better units starting out. Unless you grind experience to raise your level, your only other option was to use the game's co-op mode for the campaign. After the problems with Red Alert 3 in terms of DRM, EA doubled down with requiring an always-on internet connection for Command & Conquer 4, even if you were playing it for the single-player story. For fans of Command & Conquer, this was the game that just devastated the franchise.
6 minutes.
Following the poor reviews,
left.
the RTS team at EA LA was rebranded to Victory Games.
It looks like you have a picture
EA
of
took the
family.
FPS team that resided at EA LA and rebranded them to Danger Close Games, who were put to work on the Medal of Honor series. The studio managed to create 2 installations before being rebranded once again as DICE LA.
People were so happy about
this.
this.
By fans as 2 major nails in the coffin for the Command & Conquer series. In 2011, EA announced that a sequel to Command & Conquer Generals was officially in development.
So the core concepts in the original Command & Conquer RTS games were really about building a base, defending that base, and building an assault army that you could go attack the other base.
First thing we said is we need to kind of wash the stain of CNC4 away. And to do that, you really have to get back to your roots, to get back to what it was that made your fans in the first place.
Command & Conquer Generals 2 was supposed to take the series back to the base building and resource management gameplay that Command & Conquer 4 went away from. In August 2012, it was then revealed that the Generals 2 moniker would be dropped, and the game would instead be a part of the live service for multiple free-to-play games that was simply named Command & Conquer. The content of what was up to then known as Generals 2 was to be the first game on the service. The project received further scrutiny when it was announced that it would not feature a single-player campaign. In an effort to please fans,
I cannot believe that it ends there.
They'd introduce downloadable single-player missions after the game's release. But the news would be too little, too late.
Too late,
sir.
The
game's troubled and slow development, coupled with pushback from fans, would eventually prove to be too much. And on October 29th, 2013, EA pulled the plug on Command & Conquer. On the same day, EA also closed Victory Games and the project was completely canned. The main reason cited was negative feedback from players who participated in the game's alpha trial and that EA was looking for other options to continue the project under a new studio. However, a Victory Games employee under the tag EA Baylor claimed that the statement on the closure and the reasons thereof were entirely pre-written by EA higher-ups, and that the real reasons for the project's cancellation were, quote, corporate politics and shenanigans. During the development of Command & Conquer Generals 2, EA Phenomic was working on a browser-based strategy MMO titled Command & Conquer Tiberium Alliances. Tiberium Alliances was a massive downgrade in terms of strategy and design, focusing more on the browser MMO trend of increasingly bigger pay and time barriers to keep people playing. Command & Conquer Tiberium Alliances was announced in December 2011, went into beta in March of 2012, and was released in May of that year. After this, a spin-off called Red Alert Alliances was also in the works. However, it was canceled later in its development when Electronic Arts closed EA Phenomic in 2013. The maintenance of Tiberium Alliance's servers was given to Easy Studios, a free-to-play development studio formerly part of DICE. The studio Envision Entertainment, which was partially made up of former Phenomic employees, became the developers of Tiberium Alliances again in 2015. The game is still being maintained, but there have been no announcements regarding the future of the franchise as a whole.
All the franchise of Red Alert, General, and more. It was a year. Okay. That's amazing. This is all what we remembered.
The series has come a long way from the days of popularizing the RTS genre.
It was coming a higher day.
The franchise sold about 30 million copies.
50 million copies?
Going downhill immediately after the creators were no longer a part of it, EA Los Angeles did
People
manage to put out several great takes on the Command & Conquer formula. Tiberium Wars, Red Alert 3, and Generals were all well received by fans and reviewers alike. Looking at the changes down the line, EA wanted the series to be the next great esports game. That meant speeding up the gameplay and becoming more micro-intensive over time. The co-op focus that started with Red Alert 3 could be viewed as their attempt at differentiating the multiplayer gameplay from StarCraft. That all culminated with Tiberian Twilight, which had very little of the iconic Command & Conquer DNA. The problem, of course, is that StarCraft has dominated the esports RTS scene, and there is little room for a game similar to it.
It was more relevant
Although
than the early
chances of EA releasing a new Command & Conquer anytime soon are slim, The franchise is not dead just yet. The series has found new life through fan-made projects, such as mods and total revamps. Even though the original developers probably won't see their beloved franchise receive an official continuation,
I think I'm gonna love
Command
this.
& Conquer has spawned an online community that's active and healthy to this day. In an age of reboots and spiritual successors, one can only hope that we'll see the return of Tesla coils, rocket buggies, and the Brotherhood of Nod once more. Or at least another series of ant levels. For more and all things Command & Conquer,
can't believe that.
Stay subscribed to Gamers.
For gamers. Yeah, stay subscribed for gamers, guys, because this is the important part. Just so you know that. All what we have been through was some kind of good games. Well, what an history. Let me see what we can what are we kind of. Oh yeah, sure. Let me find this. Yesterday, oh, let me get it online. Yesterday, I installed this program because I remember this a long time ago, and all what I really remember was playing Command & Conquer was some kind of strategy you should use at your brain. It was a bit too hard, but when you play it, it feels that you got it. You have to do this. Yeah. And this is all these kind of games. I think I should be familiar because Battlefield also a good game and maybe kinda good game. I mean, what can I say about EA? Did a lot of change since that day. It's so beautiful. Chat, what should I be agreed with? I should maybe have been regretted to be streaming more Origins. I mean, the question same here is too that there was no goddamn games of, let me find this. There was no goddamn games that call Command and Conquer on GOG. Command and, let me find this. Conquer. No, see guys, that's truly what it is. It's the only game I found, and no. Yeah, I know it's a strategy game, but chat, what should I be agree with? The GOG that bring me a lots of memories, or should I trust Origins? For the moment that way, I think Command & Conquer have been on-showing game for the GOG. So you know what, chat? You know what? I would just say that we are going to stream this. We're going to stream the whole Command & Conquer line until the bottom ends. Right there. Until the end. And when I'm done with this, we will uninstall the games and play still good old games. I mean, what can I say about GOG? That they actually did a lot of good work. But one thing I'm most impressed about was this. Command & Conquer blir mästare i sina klassiska spel innanför strategi krigsførsel. It's are going to be master in 7th classics games and over strategies, war feeling. It's so it's so good. It's so beautiful. And I also cannot believe that there also is Dragon Age, but yeah. Some EA posted some shit. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm most regret with GOG because one thing I can say about this game, it's just yeah, good old games. I think it should not be the online shitty games. Oh yeah, guys, do you know why it is black? It because it's Black Friday sale. So that means let me give you some tip what you can do in this. You can buy holy scheisse, there is over 51 sites that have Black Friday. So if you want some good old classic game, let me share this. Oh my god. Let me share this. From Borderline, you can play Dragon Slayer, you can play Ultima. It's a lower price. If you want this, if you really want... Oh my god, look at this, chat, look at this. All the old games is in now in %. But no, I'm not going to buying it because I have now a lot of kind of games that I'm going to playing and it might sucks. Yeah. Yeah, so we're going to playing more Command & Conquers, and when this is done, we're going to playing this shit forever. I mean, what can I say about Command & Conquer? They're also going to release a remastered... I mean, what is so perfect in the life? What is so perfect most in those lives? Is that Origin going to release a good old game? I cannot believe that. This is so crazy. What? It's so amazing, actually, for what they did. For what they actually did. Well, let me check some more from EA. I mean, can it possibly go wrong? EA Games Remastered Command in Conquer. We need to see more about this. Is there even more about this? Oh, here it is, guys. Command & Conquer Remastered and Command & Conquer Red Alert Remastered. These guys are going to remastered in another version, another graphic. Experience the battle in HD. Look at the detail, guys. I mean, let me show you. Let me show you. Yeah, what it looks. This is what it looks back in those days. This is what it looks in HD. This is what it looks back in those days. Yeah? And this is what it looks now. In HD. It's so good. There is 23 October 2019 remastered update and first gameplay trailer teaser. Oh my god, there's a lot of news. And this post, oh god, I've never seen this, but this is so quality. I mean, I think I would subscribe to this. It's so pretty. Thanks for Petrolix and Sky Studio for doing this. You're doing pretty well. You did a lot of goodwill as well. And here it is, all the Command & Conquer. We have the Red Alert series. We have the 4th. We have the Alliance, and we have the Rival. I'm actually playing the Rival because this game is goddamn good. And the one thing I love about this, you can build and you can conquer everything. It's Command and Conquer, and it's have been always the word of it. And yeah, that's it, guys. I would just say that's it for the meme story of Command and Conquer, and I hope you really have fun with that, because this is what it looks in our next future. I hope it's coming 2021. I mean, it's a question mark about year. So I'm so excited about also this game. I mean, I'm the most expecting and exciting for the classic Warcraft 3. It's one of these damn games that I really liked most. I mean, EA sucks, But yeah, I will give it a try. Command and Conquer Remastered and the Red Alert, and think that this game is going to be a good, or this game is going to be bad. I mean, what is the difference? Look at this. Alright, yeah. That's the shit for today. Well, I see you guys tomorrow in another stream when we're going to play The Lost Tale, the Atlantis, The Lost Tales. Since I would take this over from MS-DOS Madness, so we're going to play Shareware Madness on Saturday tomorrow. So that's gonna be exciting. And Sunday, yeah, we are going to play some Star Wars, and this is our first December, and we're going to open the first Elvin package. If you can hear the sound of this, that's maybe kind of some stuff inside of there. I don't know what it is, but it's a good question what it could be. It's maybe could be a Lego, I guess. It should be something about Star Wars, you know, because I love Star Wars. And yeah, thanks for Vertex. That is a Danish store that is even bigger in the even Danish place when you can buy some good stuff. And yeah, that's really good as well. And there was some kind of Black Friday they're doing right now, and that's also good stuff. And remember to go after some store and buying some classic, not a classic, but buying some Lego. I mean, it's so marvelous. It's so good. Well, let me end the stream right now and say, see ya tomorrow. Sayonara, boys. Ooh, papa. Sorry.